Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'll be doing a video talking about off campuses, places you can stay off campus as an aspirant for those who do not want to stay in the hostel. So this video is for you. This video was actually requested by an aspirant, so I just thought of, doing that like I promised the individual. So yeah, if you know you're interested in seeing this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and also hit the post notification button to get notified whenever I drop in a video. And stay tuned. So without wasting much of your time and that's of mine, let's get into the video.
Whip, body, crib, got it, chop on it. Did I ever ask you to take me to go shopping and bury a ghost?
So if you want to stay off campus, there are actually three places you can get accommodation. The first place is Iddo, IDDO. The second is Giri, Giri, and the third place is Gwagwalada. So I'll be telling you the advantages and disadvantages of this location and which location is advisable for you to, book accommodation, rather for you to take accommodation, as an aspirant, and also like the price range of each location. I'll be using my other smartphone as a guide. So here, the first on my list is Giri. Oh, these are the advantages of staying at Giri. The first one is proximity, that is closeness. Giri is actually close to the University of Abuja main campus, making it easy for you to attend lectures on time. The second advantage is transportation. Giri is actually quite close to the University of Abuja. So considering transport fare, you won't really like break a bank if you stay in Giri, considering the transport fare is actually very cheap and affordable. Then the third advantage of staying at Giri is students community. You have like majority of students who stay in Giri one because of the closeness to school, so you don't have to feel alone that like the location you're staying is quite isolated. No, like there are students in Giri, so like we have a very huge students community at Giri. The fourth on my list is the availability of hostels and lodge. There's a good number of students targeted accommodations at Giri. I will explain. The locations, rather the accommodation in Giri is actually very student friendly. Yeah. So you don't have to, start worrying about, it's not being conducive. It all depends on the location and where exactly, you're getting your house at Giri. The fifth on my list is access to campus facilities. Due to the fact that Giri is very close to the school, you can easily have access to, you know, the campus facilities like the school library, the labs, and other outside class hours resources. Yeah. So these are the advantages of staying in Giri. Next, I'll be talking about the price range for Giri. For Giri, the price range of finding an accommodation in Giri, you should be looking between 200 to 500. Yeah, these are the price range for Giri. You won't see anything less than 200 to 500. Yeah, on a good day, you can see 180, but I doubt. Yeah. So the next is the disadvantages of staying at Giri. One is high rents. The rent actually usually high because of the high demands of students' accommodation and the fact that the accommodation in University of Abuja is not really enough for the amount of students in which they give admission to. So landlords use that opportunity to extort students. So the rents are usually very high. That's one disadvantage of staying at Giri. Two is overcrowding. A lot of students, I'm telling you, a lot of students stay in Giri. One, because Giri actually have steady lights. Like I don't want to say, oh, they do not take lights, or they do not take light as much as they do in areas like Iddo and Gwagwalada. So one thing I would recommend Giri for is the fact that they have steady lights. So yeah, that's like one disadvantage of staying at Giri, overcrowding, because students are there because of it is close to school, they have good lighting facilities, so it's very, very crowded. The second disadvantage of staying at Giri is security. Oh my gosh, the security in Giri is very bad. I won't even come here and want to sugarcoat anything. The security in Giri is very bad. Like last semester, the amount at which, there were robbery in Giri was on a sturdy house were boggled. I think I'll check for like a video of it. I'm going to post it on the screen so you can see for yourself. Like houses were boggled, things were stolen, Giri is not safe. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's one thing about Giri. The security is very, very bad. And it's so sad because it's actually close to a barrack, and even upon that, the security rate is very, very poor in Giri.
Yeah, addicted. I don't do. You understand? I know, but that doesn't okay, that means you're on that. No,
The fourth on my list is limited infrastructures. Giri have limited infrastructures, and Giri is not so developed as other accommodation lodge like Gwagwalada. So it's not, you see limited infrastructures, like you can have access to banks, shopping complexes. So that's one disadvantage of Giri. The infrastructure is very poor. Yeah, not so poor, but like it has limited infrastructures because you can have access to banks and shopping complexes and all those good stuffs. Yeah. The fifth on my list, sorry, is traffic congestion. Giri is quite congested, and there's high chance of you meeting traffic because like taxis do flaunt around the area quite often because they always like pick students and do some businesses there. So yeah, there's traffic congestion in Giri. So these are the disadvantage and advantages of staying at Giri. Next up, I'll be talking about Iddo. Yeah. So I'll be running you over the advantages of staying at Iddo. So mind you, Iddo is actually very, very close to the campus. I think it's more close to the campus than Giri, but it has its advantage and disadvantage. So the first advantage of staying at Iddo, one, it is the moderate distance. Like this is the first thing. Iddo, like I earlier said, is actually very close to like the main campus, and majority of our lectures have been held at the main campus. We barely have that. We never have lectures in the mini campus, just geography students. So yeah, Iddo is actually very, very close to the main campus. The next advantage of staying at Iddo is less crowded than Giri. Iddo is actually less crowded than Giri, if I should be very, very honest with you. Reason being that students stay more in Giri because one, because of the lights, than they stay at, than they stay at Iddo. Yeah, so the environment is quite quiet. Though students do also stay in Iddo, but they're not just as much as they do in Giri. Yeah. So the third advantage of staying at Iddo is cheaper rents. Accommodation in Iddo and Giri, they are generally affordable. Yeah. Like the price range for you finding a good and comfortable accommodation in Iddo is between 200 to 400. Yeah. You can go above 200 to 400. You can find for 180 in Iddo. You can actually find for 180 in Iddo. But landlords are actually increasing their rents because of high demands of accommodation by students of the University of Abuja. So let's just say from 200 to 400, you can actually find a very good accommodation in Iddo. And I must really confess, the houses in Iddo, they are actually very clean. They are very, very clean. Like they are so clean. I'm not even going to lie. Because when I was doing like my, my house hunting, I was considering going to Iddo, but I had the reason why I didn't, which I'll tell you later. But I'll recommend that your houses are actually very, very good. Even compared to the one I'm staying in my apartment in Gwagwalada, the houses are very, very good. Yeah. So the fourth on my list is calmer lifestyle. Um Due to like students not being that much in Iddo, the environment is actually very quiet and calm. You won't easily get distracted, but it is not quiet. Don't mistake my terms quiet. Okay, I'll just say instead of saying quiet, it is less distracting. Yeah, that's the word because it's not quiet. It's less distracting. Yeah. The fifth on my list is community living. Like when I say community living here, there are families who live in Iddo. So that's community and also student community too. You see them at Iddo. So yeah, this is another advantage of staying at Iddo. One is the transportation. So that's number six here. The transportation. The transportation is actually very cheap. Very, 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 very cheap. Not very, 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 very cheap because I mean the cost of fuel, but it's actually very, very affordable. Yes, because it was actually very close to the school. Some say when you used to track it. I wonder how they do that, but yeah, if you're that strong enough, you can track it if you come out from your house on time. So yeah. So next up is the disadvantages of staying at Idom. So the first on my list is one, the environment. Poor environment. Ido is very dirty. I won't lie to you. That's the reason why I didn't like choose Iddo when I was going. I was like apartment hunting. The houses were clean, they were fine, they were new, but the environment was nothing to write home about. Like you see Giri and Iddo, their environment is so bad. I'm not even going to lie. It is very dirty. And I'm a very sensitive person. I have like very sensitive skin. So I'm very environment cautious. So I don't like fall ill because I get sick easily. So yeah, even though you're like me or you're very, very sensitive, do not, I repeat, do not stay in Iddo. You get why? The second on my list is safety. Safety, like the security in Iddo is bad. You see Iddo and Giri, their security is so bad. The level of theft and armed robbery in Iddo and Giri, people in town are learning work. I'm telling you, because I know the amounts of students' phones that have been missing and stolen. Even a friend of mine, her phone was stolen half of the semester because why they robbed her apartment. So trust me, if you are not strong enough to fight or you are not financially buoyant enough to be buying phone anytime they steal your phone, do not get an apartment in Ido. That's one of the disadvantage of staying at Ido because the environment is not even developed, so it's quite. I don't want to say isolated, but I'll just say yeah, it's quite isolated. Yeah. The third on my list is I said access to infrastructures because Ido is like a village for me. Honestly, being blunt and honest, Ido is like a village, and you do not have this, but there's no bank in Ido. I don't even think whether there are shopping complexes in Ido. You can just see kiosks and small shops and provision stores and maybe eateries like mama puts stuff like that. So yeah, you don't have limited infrastructures, so you can have access to bank. And if you want to like have nightlife and stuff, or you're the outing type of person, I don't think Ido is the kind of place you get accommodation for. So yeah, these are the advantage and disadvantage of staying at Ido. Next, I'll be talking about Gwagwalada. For Gwagwalada, I'm talking about the advantages of staying in Gwagwalada and why I chose Gwagwalada as where I would rather have accommodation in than Ido or Giri. One advantage of staying in Gwagwalada, one, it has urban environments. There are lots of families in Gwagwalada compared to Ido and Giri. Yeah, though there are families in Ido and Giri, but due to the fact that Gwagwalada, there are like schools there, universities there, so it's actually more developed than Ido and Giri. I'm not even going to lie. Like the environment is I don't want to say top notch, but for starters pack, it is not bad. It's way better than Ido and Giri. Advantages of staying in Gwagwalada is better amenities. You can have access to banks. Like Gwagwalada have all the banks you can think of. I'm telling you. And they're not even far apart, which is even one of the amazing things that I like. Because I can't start stressing myself going all the way to town if I have like bank issues. I'll just come out from my house and a bank is facing me, literally. Like name it. Gwagwalada has all the banks there. They have Sterling Bank, Keystone Bank, FCMB Bank, UBA Bank, Keystone. Oh my god, like they have banks in Gwagwalada, so you can have access to that. You can have access. There are hospitals there, like standard hospitals. Yeah, there are hospitals there. There are shopping complexes there, like City Mart. So that's one advantage of staying in Gwagwalada. Third advantage of staying in Gwagwalada is affordable housing varieties. There are varieties of house that are actually very affordable in Gwagwalada for students to choose from. So that's one advantages of staying in Gwagwalada. Yeah, and they're pocket friendly. But expensive, but pocket friendly. Yeah. Next on my list, number four is social life. Like Gwagwalada is social life. Like my house is actually very close to the club, and every day I'm hearing music. Like Gwagwalada have so many clubs. Like Gwagwalada is, I think Gwagwalada should be known as the second Gwarimpa because Gwarimpa is known for like social life. Gwagwalada is the second of it. I'm telling you because there are so many live bands. Like if you know that like the social person, Gwagwalada is a more better option for you because there's entertainment. It's lively and bubbling. Yeah. So these are the advantages of staying in Gwagwalada. And next, I'm talking about the price range of how you can get houses in Gwagwalada. The price range from 250 to 250 and above, honestly. But for students, I would say from 250 to 500. Yeah, these are the amounts that you can find houses for in Gwagwalada for students, comfortable and affordable houses. 250 to 500. Yeah, it's quite expensive, trust me. But it's for the good and it's for the better. Oh yeah, also one advantage of staying in Gwagwalada is the security. I'll recommend that. Unlike Iddo and Giri, like the security in Gwagwalada is actually very safe. I'm telling you, it's very, very safe. You could barely hear of, thefts because the vigilante crew in Gwagwalada is very tight. So yeah, if you want security, Gwagwalada is the best option for you. So next up is the disadvantage of housing in Gwagwalada. The first disadvantage of staying in Gwagwalada on my list, one, it is far from the campus, that's the main campus. And this is like, okay, this is the top disadvantage of staying in Gwagwalada. It is far from the campus, like very, very far. I can't really see how many minutes drive, but it is very, very far. And there might be a higher chance of you missing lectures and, going late for lectures. So that's one disadvantage of staying in Gwagwalada. The second disadvantage of staying in Gwagwalada is the transportation cost. Trust me, it is very expensive. It is very, very, very expensive. It is very, 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 very expensive. I know how much I spend a day going and coming every day of the week, except Sundays, because sometimes we even have classes on Saturdays. So it's crazy. The transportation is very, very expensive. So that is one disadvantage of going or further having accommodation in Gwagwalada. The third disadvantage of having accommodation in Gwagwalada is risk of lateness. The distance increase the high chance of you missing lectures. Trust me. And if you don't want to miss lectures or be late for lectures, you either wake up early or you choose between Iddo and Giri. The fourth on my list is distraction potential. Sorry for the noise, guys. This dog, I've been testing my patience since, honestly. Gwagwalada is very busy. It has a very busy environment, and you can get distracted easily if you are not well grounded. Exactly, because there are so many people that want to come and distract you. Hey, thank you. You might get distracted, and don't fall for it because it's all rubbish. So yeah, the distraction is quite very high if you are staying in Gwagwalada. So guys, these are the pros and cons for houses in Gwagwalada. So guys, I'll be giving you a clear ranking and the reason why you should pick any of this location. Following three factors. One, we have affordability. Two, we have day-to-day comforts and activity. Three, we have proximity slash closeness to the campus. And this information was actually, derived from sources, statistical sources. So I'm not just giving you anyhow information, it has statistical analysis and ranking. Yeah. So first on my list is Iddo. Iddo is best overall. And my reason why I ranked Iddo as first is Iddo sits between the main cluster of student neighborhood and the town. It's usually quieter than Giri, and you can find reasonable price self-contained rooms and small flats there. So you can get affordability and a calmer study environment without a long commute. The second best on my list and research is Giri. Giri is best if your top priority is being near the campus. Reason why? Giri is the closest to University of Abuja, so it gives you the shortest daily commute and easy access to university facilities and fellow students. That proximity comes with trade-offs. Demand can push prices up in decent places, and the area can be crowded and noisy, and infrastructures like road, water has no issue in parts of Giri. If you value being a campus, if you value being on campus quickly between class, Giri makes sense. If you need quiet and low rents, Iddo may be better. Yeah, so that's that for Giri. So the third on the ranking and the last but not the least is Gwagwalada. Gwagwalada is best for amenities and worst for daily commutes. Reason why? Gwagwalada is a larger town with more shops, services, and social options. Rents vary, and you can find both cheap and mild rent units there. But the campus is farther away. Some sources show over 16 kilometers by road from parts of Gwagwalada to the University of Abuja. Also, commuting time and transport costs go up. Choose Gwagwalada if you want better local amenities and don't mind spending more time or money getting to campus. For the next, I'll be giving you a quick decision guide. for you to pick between Gwagwalada or Iddo. Pick Iddo if you want the best mix of low but mild rents, quieter study condition, and a short to moderate commute, that is community. 2. Pick Giri if your higher priority is being closest to campus, that's shorter working/driving time, and you want to be in the thick of the student community, accepting possible noise, higher demand, and some infrastructure problem. 3. Pick Gwagwalada if you want more shop and services near home and you don't mind longer daily travel or higher transport cost. So guys, these are the pros and cons for picking pros and cons for staying off campus in the location Iddo, Giri, and Gwagwalada. So I have broken this down to, affordability, closeness to campus, and day-to-day activities, and connection. So if you know you prefer either Iddo or Giri or Gwagwalada, you can use this as a guide to pick whichever is your most priority. Whether you like the social life or you like a calmer environment, or you are going for an affordable accommodation. So we have come to the end of this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also feel free to comment your thoughts in the comment section, or any question, or if I wasn't detailed enough, which I feel I was very detailed, but if you really don't understand what I said, I'll be lenient enough to reply to your comments. Don't forget to like, emphasis on like. You guys be trying me, honestly, but emphasis on like and subscribe. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of my video. Yeah, that's what I have to see you. See you in my next video. Bye.
Whip, body, crib, got it, chop on it. Did I ever?